Mark thought he would like to talk about if he could be here, because he's in the process of moving back up to Jersey, I think. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, essentially it's an email. So it's hard to make any, I can make it a little bit bigger.
Am you getting any feedback off of me? Because I started another session here.
No feedback on you.
Okay.
I did get a pop-up that streaming had started.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, I've got to configure it so the audio doesn't come back at me.
So the thing that he talked about the last meeting was the BBS operations, and then his wide area networking and VOIP telephony that he was talking about, where he can connect somebody, the system, I can't remember what it was, but it connects with Ham Shack hotline by dialing like a prefix and then the number of the individual you want to talk to. So in John's email is the link.
Unlock that, please, for me. I forgot how you told me.
That comes off like that. What are you trying to do?
I'm gonna go read a little bit.
Wait,
Can somebody mute Carl?
you gotta push this thing one way or the other way.
I got to find him.
Well, and then it doesn't. Thank you. I'll try not to find my finger off. I think it's unlocked.
Okay.
There we go. So if you take a look at that, my screen, there's a link there to one of his web sites right here where my cursor has made two little holes there. There we go. And then he talks about some other stuff, the web proxy and mesh view. So I'm going to open it up. Does anybody have this already on the, you should all have it because John sent it out this afternoon with the link. Can we just open up the conversation about that? Or not?
I got the messages and stuff, and I have not yet had a chance to look at his links there, but they look this, and I missed the meeting last month. But it looks very fascinating. I'm interested to learn more.
Yeah, even the part about the Mesh Chat WX, which puts weather alert onto Mesh Chat, so they'll come up on everybody's node throughout the system, especially if there's a major weather event that we need to know about. I thought I thought there was a VE station that joined us, but I am going to go ahead and stop sharing.
There's a VA station.
Oh yeah, VA3, OMW. Hello, Martin.
Good evening. Randy Niels invited me to come this evening.
Oh, good for Randy. That's about time that Randy put his little efforts over our way again. We miss him terribly.
I've spoken a lot of the projects he's worked with you guys on.
Awesome. So you, Martin, probably didn't get an email, but we have an ambassador from AREDN, Mark Hearson,
I got the email.
Oh, you did get it. Okay, wonderful. Outstanding.
Randy sent it to me. Yeah.
Okay. There was a number of links that I was hoping, or we were hoping to discuss tonight, plus our standard report outs. So everybody's got it. Some people have got it and haven't read it yet. So why don't I just go ahead and go into the reports? Frank, you would be the first up because I don't see Tom.
Okay, so I'd be the first up and I can't say much. Tom and I went up and put up the 60 gig link for Beacon Hill. And of course, you heard a little while ago that something happened and the link won't work. So it's been taken down to rebuild. Sorry, we got a water rescue going off at Elkai. And then we've got an antenna. We're going to put up the sector antenna for AREDN and found out that the AREDN transceiver, we cannot get it to program. We can't even get it to return to its original IP address. So I gave that back to Tom too. We both played with it and so far I've had no luck with it. So we've tried, but that's where we're at right now.
How much stock do we have? Do we have any spares? Anything?
Not for one of the sector antennas. I mean, we've got TP links, but that's not what we want to do.
Right.
I have 2 rockets here, but I don't know if we want to deploy a rocket with the
That's
sector
not-
antenna.
Not gonna, yeah, that's not gonna do
I
it.
mean, they're physically the same. They have the dual antenna ports, but I don't know if they mount on the same. But we have to come up with a custom mount to put the filters in it anyway, right?
Yep. Because we're gonna.
I have-
present it.
I only have one TP link left that I was sort of hanging on to for Vlad to see if I can get Vlad to host a TP link. But so far, no luck with that contact.
Well, these 2 rockets I have are on antennas. One's a shorter, one's a taller antenna, and they belong to the club. I think one originally was at Doug North's place, and I think the other one was earmarked for the college. But they're both back to the club's possession. So if there's a location that somebody wants to put one of those up at, let me know. We'll get it configured and ready to go.
We also have a sector antenna at Salvation Army. Maybe we need to pull that in and move that to a different location because we have nothing further beyond Salvation Army and really nobody connects at the Salvation Army. So that might be something we pull back. What do y'all think?
I don't see why we can't. That would
Well,
at least get us moving over at St. Vincent until we get the other transceiver figured out.
I would say let's wait until after Meshapalooza. We might need that node to get out to the rest of the world.
Okay.
I think it's connecting with the West Seattle Tower. So, and John, the guy lives on the hill right behind there. I think they're
John Murphy.
Yeah, I think it's seeing both of them. So, I mean, it's doing something.
Okay. Well, if we need equipment and we don't have spares, then we have to pull from the periphery and pull them in. There's an Omni with a filter up at the what's the name of that
Brookdale.
place in Admiral Brookdale?
Yeah, I think that's the one that Monty can see, but I'm not
Yes.
sure that it's currently on the air. And I'm thinking that the one on Alaska Street is not, because I'm not seeing anything from there, even from Providence. So
That was problematic before the circuit breaker. The last time I was there several months ago, the GFI popped on it.
okay, it's probably
So,
happened again.
right. Yeah, so it just needs someone to go take a look-see.
Do you have contact information to who we go see?
It's I don't know the guy's name off the top of my head, but the secretary and receptionist are aware of the West Seattle Amateur Radio Club having that antenna up on the roof. If I was home, I could give you the
Okay.
information off of his business card.
No sweat.
Sure.
The next couple of weekends are really busy, but if nobody can make it there prior to the end of the month, I'll try to get by there on the 27th, unless somebody can get there sooner. I'm really tied up again with Peacer and crap.
Yeah, I'll be home around that time. So I'll get, at least send you the contact information, Tom, if I can't do it myself.
Okay.
But it's a weird name. It's not of American, a standard American name. It's Ibuji or something like that.
No problem. As
I
long
can't
as they're
remember
aware
exactly.
of the club and it's not just a single person that they have to deal with it. If they can deal with a representative of the club, then we shouldn't have any problem.
Yeah, the one at Brookdale Admiral, the woman director, I was in Rotary with her, and she knows about it.
That light off?
She really wants to have it up and operational in case they lose their normal way of communicating. I was going to show her how to go connect into the radio and be able to send email.
Okay.
But we're not ready to do that yet.
No. Okay. I'll see what I can do. I don't know. Do they have after-hour contacts that I can go on my way home from work or something, or is it something that's business hours only?
I think it's business hours only,
Okay.
but that's during the day on Saturday too.
Okay. Yeah, Saturday is usually not a problem, but this coming Saturday we got the whole West Seattle yard sale thing plus Stanwood if I decide to go there. And then the following weekend is club meeting and Meshapalooza, so it'd have to be the weekend after.
Yeah. So essentially, that was your report, Tom.
Well, actually, follow up with Frank said, yeah, we had an issue with the 60 gig link. Doug put up one end and went in and upgraded the firmware and made a few other changes, and then when we put our end up, they wouldn't talk. So we've pulled both ends back, and I've got them here, and I reset them to factory defaults, but they still don't want to communicate. So he did update the firmware on the Beacon end, and so I'll try to update the firmware on the Providence end and see if they'll start talking again. I can't see where the firmware, just a couple of version difference would make them not communicate, but who knows?
One other thing, we did get a shelf installed, so we have a place to set equipment that we're putting up now. And we ran a power extender up there, multiple AC outlet strips, and it's plugged into the emergency power outlet on the wall. So everything we have up there has a place to go. We have a router ready to go up, and everything's there now, so we didn't have to put a box up.
Oh, good. Who put the box in or shelf?
I took the shelf over and installed that in a box that was pre-existing and 2/3 empty.
Yeah, there's an existing wall-mounted rack device that houses Providence's in-house radio repeaters, and it's DMR, I believe, and they've got a router on that as well. So there was plenty of space in there, so we just stuck our shelf in there, and our power strip, and our power injectors are sitting on the shelf now, and the room for the router to go there as well. So unless we put a rack mount router in, which there's room to do that too. So So we
Okay, I see.
we did some positive accomplishments, even though the 60 gig didn't work. But we're ready to go. So things can just plug right in once we get it back up.
All right. Steve, are you seeing anybody at your location RF wise?
Yeah, just Greg, GFW. His
Okay.
node was down for, I don't know, like a month or so, and he didn't realize it. So he got it
Yeah.
back up, and he's more or less pointed towards me.
I talked
But
to
I
him
can still,
at breakfast
Yeah.
the first Saturday breakfast he was at. He said it just simply slid down his mast. So and then probably turned and was facing the wrong way. But anyway, he stuck it back up.
yeah, I got a
Okay.
terrific signal to him, and from there I can hop up to Myrtle.
Okay, good.
And
I was worried you were
occasionally
down in the hole.
see you, Ron. I think it's the -2 node. It kind
The
of goes in and
-2
out.
is a TP link that's down near the ground.
Well, it comes in occasionally.
Maybe I need to recycle my Omni up on top, the number 1.
I have found that you'd have to reboot these nodes at least no more than every 6 weeks. They'll hang up, even though they look like they're working fine, but they're not passing mesh chat traffic. And neighbors seem to just stay frozen. They don't update. So yeah, at least every 6 weeks, reboot your node more often if you can.
For every 3rd Thursday.
Oh, once a month. Yeah. Just do it when you get off the meeting.
Yeah, I can't do it tonight,
You're mute.
but
John, if you're talking to us, you're muted. Maybe he's not talking to us.
all
Okay,
right.
Here I am.
There you are.
The question was, reboot means power off, power on, correct?
Yeah. Or you can go in through the configuration screen. There's a reboot button you can click.
There's a reboot, okay.
Yeah.
They have the same effect, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the reboot's a little faster than the power cycle. And reboot, you don't have to, if you've got a computer connected, you don't have to wait for it to give you an IP address back and reopen your browser and all that. It just does it all automatically for you. It's a little cleaner.
All right, let's move on. Hey, Phil, you're up next if you got any comments.
No, not really. As I said earlier, I got the old antennas and then nodes all down. So 3 nodes on the same pole are going up as soon as I can get my son-in-law to get the setup up on the roof. And that should enable me to talk to Mark and should give me a link into Willamette Valley. We'll see.
That's a good thing. You guys are doing a great job down there working together. I appreciate that.
It's fun.
Go over to Jim Canary.
Howdy. I still can't
you
hear
get-
anybody.
You don't see anybody on Mesh up there on Beacon Ridge?
I'm on the south end of Beacon Hill. And I can occasionally see Kurt's station, but it's the quality just isn't there. And every once in a while I'll get some the West Seattle, I forgot the call sign now. There's a station that comes in, but none of the signals are up to where I can do anything with them, and it only shows up for a little bit and then drops out. But I got everything powered back up again after a long hiatus.
Well, good. I'm glad you did. Glad you joined us tonight, because the more people we get on the system, the more capable the system will become. So
Right.
It just takes a while to baby steps to build it all up. Hey, Carl, how you doing up there in the north?
Howdy, all. My nodes I haven't been particularly paying attention to, and I tried to log into them tonight and can't even hit them, so I'm gonna have to do a little tracing. However, mostly I wanted to report on Maple Leaf. Doug Kingston and I have been working over there quite a bit. There is a single TP link pointed south from the reservoir area, and it's still working. And we have a dyna dish on the Peaceern monopole, and it's been in and out, and we haven't identified a reason for that yet. But today we went over and worked on it some more. Removed the switch that I had, which gave us the tagged VLAN port for a WAN connection to the TP link, and we put in a MikroTik router in its place. And Doug is still doing some work on that, trying to clean it up. But as of the time we left the site, the TP link was drawing internet from the Hamwan dish, and also we have programmed the TP link to tunnel to the EOC node, so it's now seeing everybody that's connected to that tunnel, and you should all be able to see it also. So we're making some progress. There's a fair amount of interest amongst hams in the northeast sector of ACS. And some of them have expressed interest in trying to go to the Meshapalooza. And Christian Helfrich has been trying to put together a comparable event in Northeast Seattle to get various people to get their mesh nodes created and running. So there's potential there. We just haven't realized it yet. So that's kind of the status in the north end.
Okay, thanks, Carl.
And Tom,
You got your hand up?
Yeah, a couple things. First, Carl, that tower is not Peaceern's. That's the city's.
okay.
And Jim, how far south on Beacon Hill do you live?
I am down by the Benefit Park. 39th and Trenton is the cross streets.
Okay, Trenton. Okay. I'm just wondering if you've got a path to John Walling if he was to put something up. And maybe if we can get Anna down in South Park to put something up, I might get some pathways down there. Yeah, you're probably too far south for Beacon Tower, but go ahead, John.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've had that discussion before. There's a building between me and Jim.
Well, there's ways of taking care of that.
So you want me to climb on top of that other building?
Sure, why not? Put a relay up there.
Okay.
But there's other options. We can get somebody maybe well, if you can see Kurt, that's an amazing path. Frank, do you think something at the college might help you?
I can see, but I can't hear. Kurt's only comes in and out. It's not strong enough to do
but
anything.
The fact that you're seeing anything at all at that distance, something in between the college is probably, I don't know, not quite halfway, but a third of the way towards you from Kurt. So that, something at the college might do you.
I'm wondering about what have we got for buildings down at the fire center, the fire academy?
JTF?
Yeah, which is just south of John, but it might get him around trees.
True. I know the training tower is definitely above the tree line, but it gets kind of warm there and smoky.
Yeah. I think the college has a better elevation and potential than the JTF.
Mm-hmm. And one of these
trees in there, you got a lot of trees.
Yeah. Well, at the college, I mean, they've got a pretty good view off over the valley.
Yeah, I'll have to dig my pictures out.
And one of these setups that I have here was earmarked for the college originally, so I don't know why it never got put there.
I remember on the roof of the college to the southeast there was a good straight shot, but that was like, where where City Light does the pole climb up there.
Yeah.
That was all clear. But north of that and south of that are those damn, what are they? Not poplar trees, but
cottonwood. And I think that's the
cottonwood.
shot that John would, or Jim would need, would be that southeast shot from the college.
And it could be like I've got pictures. I'll dig the pictures out tonight and then try and figure out where Jim is and John are and see if they're anywhere in the slot there.
Okay, and I'll do a Google Earth plot on it too and see what it looks like.
I can pull up our GMAP if that helps the conversation.
You guys still have something on the water tower over in West Seattle?
Yep.
That park?
Yes,
Is it up and running, the node?
it is. It is.
Is it pointing my direction? Because I can, when I'm up on the roof, I can see the water tower, but I'm not getting any data from it.
It's omnidirectional and it's vertically polarized with I think 8 or 10 degrees of down tilt. So not sure it'll reach all the way over to Beacon, but I know that we've worked both myself and the other Jim from Riverview Playfield on the next ridge to the east. So
Myrtle Reservoir, that's the name of it. Yeah, I couldn't think.
It's an Omni antenna, according to the notes.
Yeah, but it's got down tilt. We put a down tilt antenna on that because you're up 500 feet above sea level, 180 feet above the ground, and everybody's below you. You don't want to shoot over the top of it. You're not trying to get to the Canadian border. You want to get to people in West Seattle, because that was the whole point. So the signal actually comes downwards towards the ground instead of straight out.
So Jim is kind of off by himself over here. You would think that I would have a shot, but as I said, there's a building between us. Here it is.
And Anna's down there in South Park, probably about where the U is in South Park. I think it's about where she lives.
Who?
Anna.
Oh,
W7ANE.
W7ANE. Is she on the mesh? Or is she doing the mesh?
No, but if her location would be helpful, I'm sure if we come up with the funding and bought a node, she would be happy to host it.
So that might help Jim. I don't know that it would help me, but it could help Jim. What's her elevation?
I think Anna won a TP link during the Christmas party.
Okay. Well, if she pointed it towards Jim, they would probably be able to talk.
She'd have to have two directionals, one for Myrtle.
Well, I don't think she could hit Myrtle from where she's at.
Oh, so she should just talk to Jim. Then
well, I don't know. If she can talk to Jim, then that's a 2-node mesh, and then we get somebody else to connect to either one of them, then they're into the rest of us.
What about Beacon? Could she reach Beacon?
She might be able to from her location.
So Beacon's up here and she's at South Park, somewhere in here.
Yeah. We'd have, basically have to go up on her roof and take a look.
Yeah.
There's terrain in between me and Beacon.
Yeah.
You said, Jim, you said there were trees in your way for Myrtle.
I'm in between some trees. I can see it from the roof, but it's not coming in.
Okay.
And I do have power, what do you call it? Power band. A directional dish, small dish.
And Carl's way up here. Who's this guy here? Doug. Okay, that's Doug. Okay. Is Doug able to connect in anywhere? Where does he connect?
I don't think so. I think he's just tunneled.
Yeah, I don't think he's got RF.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a router.
And what about ACS? What are they RFing with?
They're not RFing to anything. Well, they're not, but they could RF to Beacon.
Is that being planned for?
It could be. Right now, it's just it's the hub that everybody's tunneled into and out of.
So when I send out my invitations, under my signature line, there's the link to this map. So if you would check the map for your location to see if I have up-to-date information. It's all organized by call sign, so it should be easy to find.
Is there any,
All right.
buddy got connections to the VA center on Beacon?
There's no mesh at VA.
Yeah, because I can see the VA too from
That might-
my roof, but
That might be a good spot to put a note if we have any contact. That we can
yeah, that's why I
provide.
was curious if anybody has any
Oh,
contact.
what's his name? Carlos with MST. He might be a person we could work with. Carl, do you know Carlos?
I've met him, I know him, but I don't deal with him routinely. I know the VA can be a difficult place to get up on the
Yes.
roof and do any work.
Yeah, that might be down the road. The company I work with is trying to do the VA contract again this year. And if that happens, we'll visit all the VA medical centers all over the US and the territories. So if by chance that works out, I would have the Seattle VA, because it's next door to me, to go up and do the work. So there's no reason why I couldn't slide a mesh antenna up there somewhere.
Yeah, sneak one in. So VA doesn't have any plans for mesh?
I'm sorry, say that again, John.
Does VA have any plans for mesh, or is that just something off their radar?
That's,
I would say it's off the radar.
yeah,
They're struggling, just the MST folks, just to have radio operators involvement with
And
the ham radio there.
I know Bill Tomlinson is going around training people with Marina's blessing, because they just don't have the staff to train people how to operate the radios at the hospitals. So he's been working really hard trying to get that accomplished with hospital staff. So
And a lot of the
Guys, I'm gonna-
I was gonna say a lot of the
I'm gonna
recent
jump
effort is,
off. I got some other things that came up.
all right, Jim,
See you
thanks for
again.
coming in.
See ya.
Yeah.
I was gonna
See
say
ya.
a lot of the recent work, and Bill's involved with this, has been with Andy Rushak and Swedish. And there's an opportunity, if we don't have AREDN on any of the Swedish roofs, there's opportunity to do that.
Yeah. I would say that's also correct. And since Bill is interested in the Meshapalooza, hopefully when you see him, Tom or Frank, maybe you can talk to him about that.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go down to Martin, over to Martin, up to Martin, and just get some comments. Martin, thanks for joining us tonight.
Well, thanks for letting me attend. And yeah, I'm from Peterborough Amateur Radio Club up in north of the border. Randy Nils suggested that I attend the meeting. We're trying to establish our own AREDN networks up here. There's our AREDN is not nearly as popular as it is down your way, and so we're just in our beginning stages and looking to groups that are well organized to model our own efforts after. And so I'm here. It's kind of late for me. I'm out turkey hunting tomorrow morning, so I don't know how late I can stay, but
Might as well just stay up until you go out hunting.
Yeah.
well, yeah, they're waking up around 4 o'clock in the morning around here these days. But yeah, so very interesting discussion. I'm just trying to put some pieces of the puzzle together. You've got a lot of efforts right now to put new nodes in. How many nodes do you currently have?
John, I think you have 30.
I haven't done a count. It's we can probably estimate it by looking at the map. See, I lost the map. Okay,
There's 6 or 7 infrastructure, probably 12 to 14 individuals,
You got quite,
no
quite,
more than 30.
quite a coverage area.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
pull the
but we
map.
have a major issue with our topographical situation. We have a lot of hills and valleys and lots of trees and buildings, so it becomes, we need a bunch so we can fill in those holes, those gaps.
And for
Yeah, there's about-
information, a second consideration, we have a independent of Arden, we have a high-speed data network called the Puget Sound Data Ring, which is separate from any commercial infrastructure. It's amateur radio, and Arden can tie into that. But we're not using Arden like California is to create that wide-ranging infrastructure. We've got it independent of Arden.
And was there going to be a talk after this pre-meeting about Ham Shack hotline and integrating that into your system? Was that part of the email?
The email was a link to a piece that oh shoot, my thing dropped off here. That that Mark over on the East Coast, he's got a HTML that talks about the linking of Ham Shack hotline and his current what did he call that, John? Do you remember? It was
Mesh view.
It was a voice over internet protocol telephony. He's got a not mesh view. It was a PBX, and Carl, you had something similar, I thought.
Running asterisk.
I've got
Yeah.
a PBX. Yeah, he might have. I think he's using asterisk. I have a PBX that I could make available to that type of a project. I have not followed up anything on that. I've just been pretty swamped myself of late.
Yeah, I don't think we're ready to get into that yet, but Martin, that email that you got has a link to it from N2MH, and he in the link, hopefully I haven't opened it, but I think he might explain what he does to create that link between Ham Shack hotline and the other.
Just wondering about
telephone.
the current directions of your group, and it's just your main efforts are still to just establish more links and fortify the system.
Yeah, we're trying to build the infrastructure so it can support a good throughput to multiple users. And then we're going to tie in at least 2 points. We're going to tie in what's called a HamWAN. Carl alluded to that. It's the Puget Sound data ring. And that
Great.
gives a internet access over HamWAN, and the mesh will connect to that to allow folks to use mesh to connect into HamWAN and send emails.
Are you close to being able to do that?
In some locations, in isolation, yes. Carl talked about a place called Maple Leaf. That is done. It's working. It's connected the mesh to the HamWAN. Other locations like on Beacon, that's what we're talking about tonight. The 60 gigahertz mesh, the 60 gigahertz link between Beacon and our West Seattle major node. And that's going to bring HamWAN over to our peninsula.
And the Seattle EOC has HamWAN available there. And that's how all of the tunneling that's being done in and out of there is over HamWAN. In addition, Doug has AREDN capability at his house, and he also has Starlink, and he's in the process of creating a alternate HamWAN access to the internet via Starlink. So if their other gateway edge router goes down or whatever, there would still be connectivity, and that would be independent of wide area commercial infrastructure failures. So there's been a lot of planning going on for the emergency communications aspect of using AREDN, and using AREDN as the mesh as a supplement to the HamWAN to provide, like the last mile connectivity, if you will, from where you could get a HamWAN shot to where you might need it in a neighborhood.
Might mention also that High Point's connected to HamWAN also.
I had a comment from Martin. Martin, I put a couple of links in the chat, and if you click on them and save the links, you'll be able to join. If you join the groups IO Northwest Mesh, you'll receive invitations in the future, and we meet on the second Thursday of the month.
All right. Well, thanks for the invitation. Oops.
And John, could you I know you have it somewhere, hopefully handy, the Willamette Valley Mesh Network link.
Yeah,
So you can.
I'll look for that while you're talking.
Willamette Valley is far more advanced than we are by far.
Right now, they're attempting a push. They are pushing into Portland right now, and they're attempting a push into Vancouver too. So I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen. That's why I'm putting 3 nodes up.
Oh, good. So there's a lot going down here in the Pacific Northwest, both here in Seattle and down in the Willamette Valley area.
They're pretty active up in Skagit County too.
The Highline Amateur Radio Club, I believe that's correct. Highline got a grant from AREDN, and they're actually working on building out not only AREDN nodes, but they're also doing amateur radio installations in the public safety facilities and doing a lot of ham radio training and testing.
And I think Randy was instrumental in making that grant happen.
Yeah, he dumped me to write their grant request.
I'll have to mention that comment to him.
Yeah, we're still buddies. I have his old Starlink system that's been transferred over to me, but he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's been really helpful to our group, and he's up in Lindsay, Ontario, which is not far from us, and he's a member of our club as well. And I think he's spending his time in between Lindsay and Lewiston, maybe.
He bought a house in New York and he's trying to get it fixed up.
Yep.
Latest was today he got rid of what was left of the swimming pool, and he has a parking spot for his RV.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a work in progress for sure.
Yeah. Okay, does anybody have anything else?
Currently,
Okay.
Dallas 3, Seattle 2, 4 minutes to go in the second.
That's good. 3-2. That's
Catching up.
I'm going to go ahead and shut down the recording, and boom. Yes. And now we're just free to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Or go to bed in some cases, Martin.
That's where I'm going. See you guys.
Okay,
Bye,
bye,
Frank.
Frank.
See you, Frank.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for having me, guys. I found that your discussion very interesting, and you're very welcoming. No, we're just beginning our efforts up here, but it's good to see other more established groups, and you know, little research I did about you guys, and it's pretty impressive what you've been up to. But what's Meshapalooza?
Is Tom
It's-
still on?
Yeah, I'm still. It's a workshop we're going to do. We used to do these back when we first started playing around with AREDN Mesh, like 2005, something like that. We got together like once a month or once every couple of months at the City of Auburn EOC, and it was just a bunch of guys with the curiosity and buying all these old home routers and reflashing them with the firmware and trying to make them do fun things, and then trying to find, you know, real world applications to make them useful. And then we kind of tapered off for a bit, but the ball's gotten rolling again. We've got applications on video cameras, IP phones, chats, things like that. I think Steve's even working on the old bulletin board system. He's thinking about putting online for us, so we have a place to go there as well. That'll be awesome. So yeah, so Meshapalooza is just kind of a gathering place for people who have questions, newcomers, who are curious about it and want to learn more, who might need help getting their nodes flashed and configured and like that. So it's just basically just a kind of a casual workshop to put all the pieces together.
All right, great name.
Well, it's not original, but we've adopted it, and it seems to play well.
Make a good tattoo.
And Martin, I put up a couple more links for you.
Well, I don't know how to get these links from.
Well, you go to chat.
Right, yeah,
and-
I'm
and
looking
then
at
you-
them.
Yeah, and then you click on them, and then it'll open them up in your browser.
All right.
Or you can just copy and paste them into a text window or something.
But you can save chat too if you go to the
Yeah,
bottom
save
there.
chat, that's it.
Yeah, there's something called save chat. It's under there's three dots, and then you click on that, and then save chat, and it'll save a text copy of the chat.
I'm gonna bail too, guys. Have a good night all.